Trade and no, this is I thank the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Algeria for his statement, and I now give the floor to His Excellency Hector Marcos Timmerman, Minister for Foreign Affairs, International Trade and Worship of Argentina. Señor.
Mr. President, Argentina is pleased at the recent adoption of the development agenda for the next 15 years, and we are sure that this will be a new direction for government action, and more specifically, eradication of poverty, improvement in health, and promoting education and sustainable development with social inclusion for all peoples. Argentina is proud of being one of the few countries that reached most of the MDGs, and we were awarded for our success by the FAO in combating hunger and by UNESCO with the highest rate of enrollment in schools in April. And among other achievements, I should also point out that Argentina managed to reduce poverty over the last decade, and it is after 5% under the hunger threshold, and we have reduced infant mortality by 27% between 1990 and 2013. And maternal mortality went down by 38.5% as a result of multiple initiatives which were carried out by our national government. Argentina now has one of the most comprehensive immunization schedules in the world, and at the end of this year we will have 17 free vaccines that are applied mandatorily, and we have a state policy in response to the HIV epidemic, and we provide universal access to diagnostic treatment and screening. These are the commitments assumed by Argentina to meet the MDGs, and we are still looking ahead now to the SDGs with similar commitments. And this agenda means that we must bring about a more inclusive, just, equal, and peaceful world. And to achieve this, the agenda must be conceived of and implemented with a human rights-based approach in a consistent implementation approach with reliable and transparent goals and targets. We will be actively participated in the 17 goals and the associated targets, which reflect the social development that took place in the last decade. We underscore the importance of this agenda, and we will be putting in place proper government policies looking ahead to 2030. We hope that in the next 15 years we can see this agenda mobilize a common effort to reverse the trends of centuries of colonialism with common but differentiated responsibilities. And this summit is a chance for us to reaffirm what we committed to in Rio, and the 2030 agenda is a reflection of this. Mr. President, this agenda includes human rights defense for women, and we want to empower all our human beings, and this will not be possible if we continue to leave out half of our population and deny them opportunities. It is therefore positive that there's a cross-cutting approach to gender through the SDGs, in addition to the SDG 5, which looks specifically at gender. Public policies geared towards women will contribute even more towards ensuring that they're socially and politically involved. The government of Argentina recognizes and will tackle the challenges ahead of us, and we know that we have to have a comprehensive approach to the problems stemming from gender inequality, and we must tackle them if we're to have a more just society. Mr. President, Argentina is working towards a democratic and inclusive society with full respect for human rights for everyone. And with respect to the right to development, we recognize that we cannot have sustainable development unless we fully respect all human rights and include the most vulnerable with dignity. This effort means that we must reaffirm that all human rights are universal, indivisible, and interdependent, and this will ensure that Argentina will make a decisive step towards improving our employment conditions and our economy, and this will come through proper social inclusion. We also have policies to expand rights to uh, ensure that we have equal matrimonial rights and mental health rights, as well as implementation of our national plan to tackle discrimination and to ensure that everyone has access to uh, proper health coverage. Our migrants have access to coverage as well, regardless of their migratory status. And as of 2003, this has been incorporated in our public policies. We recognize these rights, and these are a solid basis for the essential role of public policies as keys to ensuring that we have a more egalitarian society for everyone. We reaffirm the importance of integrating the three dimensions of sustainable development: inclusive economic development, social development, and environmental and balanced sustainability. And we must work in a comprehensive manner throughout the entire implementation of the agenda to protect, restore, and sustainably use our ecosystems with a view to our development. In the document, we see the existence of the right to water. We support improved access to drinking water and sanitation for all persons, regardless of their social status. And this is something that all states should assure to their citizens. Mr. President, Argentina is concerned about the process of implementing the agenda because, based on what we agreed in Rio Plus 20, this is an inseparable package. However, we have seen that there's an imbalance between the agenda's commitments taken on by developing countries and those taken on by developed countries when it comes to the means of implementation and financial resources. Developed countries are all the more responsible to generate more contributions financially to meet their commitments. It is therefore very important that we recall the historic commitments taken on, and that this must be assured so that developed countries will devote 0.7% of their GNI to the developed countries, and this has not been met with in the past, and therefore we need more commitment because this would have helped more countries achieve MDGs and eradicate poverty throughout the entire world. In contrast, Argentina, along with other countries of the South, has been increasing in the past few years its South-South cooperation as a response, along with other countries of the South, to share our experiences and to ensure that we implement the principles of this cooperation. We are here in this room with these other countries, and one of the demonstrations of this is the Buenos Aires Plan on technical cooperation between developing countries and the decision to set up an Argentinian fund for South-South and triangular cooperation, which we hope will reflect the agreements that we agreed upon internationally on the ground. There needs to be more public investment in developing countries, so we must also have profitable investments and build capacity and opportunities rather than just accumulate capital in these countries. Mr. President, Argentina hopes that the agreement reached on the principles, the guiding principles, and the goals that have been defined will build a genuine change for women and children throughout the world, and we must come up with the means of implementation, cooperation, and monitoring that can deliver the commitments that we have made. Mr. President, in closing, and here I would like to quote His Holiness, international financial agencies should care for the sustainable development of countries and should ensure that they are not subjected to oppressive lending systems which, far from promoting progress, subject people to mechanisms which generate greater poverty, exclusion, and dependence. Thank you.